I'm sorry I might have distracted you having the Roman Missal sitting here. I distracted our director for the Sunday Mass, so much so that we had to stop because he wanted to remove it. But I told him it was part of my homily. So you might say, well, how is it part of your homily, Father? Well, we have a second parable in a row with Jesus in the face of the religious leaders of his time. The scribes, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the elders of the people. And he comes at them once again for their unfaithfulness. And it might be very easy for us to say, hey, well, I don't have to worry about this particular parable. That's for the people in charge. That's for the Pope and the cardinals and the bishops and maybe a few of us priests. Well, what do I get out of the parable? Well, this particular parable has a rather odd little moment at the very end of it, where when the king comes in to sort of greet and meet all of the people that they've found in the highways and the byways to come to the wedding, he sees one guy there without a wedding garment on. And he wants to know why. That's where our Roman Missal comes in. Back in 2011, this missal was sort of rededicated. It was retranslated from the Latin. A lot of things changed. We sort of had to learn prayers that were part of our life for all that we had lived. They took on a sort of a different shape or different wording. And there was a lot of controversy around this particular Roman Missal. Some people liked it very, very much. Other people couldn't stand it. They didn't like the translation. And there was one little sticking point of controversy, and it had to do with the institution narrative of the blood of Christ. And the institution narrative says, "Take this, all of you, and drink from it. For this is the chalice of my blood, the blood of the new and eternal covenant, which will be poured out for you and for many, for the forgiveness of sins. Do this in memory of me." And the controversy centered around one word, the word many. Because the previous translation that we had used for a long, long time said for all. And so there was this struggle. Didn't Jesus die for all? Well, yes, he did. Then why are we only saying this is for many? Well, it went back and forth, and some people said, I'm always going to say all, and some people said, no, you have to say many. And when Pope Francis became Pope, in one of his sort of news conference or press conference, somebody asked him about this. And he says, well, for many is the best translation, because you have to make an investment. Yes, Jesus died for all, but the only way we embrace that or experiences that is to be faithful, to enter into, to wear the wedding garment. That's where the man in our story today had his problem. He didn't put on his wedding garment. He didn't invest in the celebration. We're asked to invest. And if we do, then what Jesus has done, how he's entered into life, his passion, death, and resurrection, yes, is for us. This table is for us. But if we don't invest, we don't put on that wedding garment, what can happen in the last moment of our life when we take that last breath and meet God face to face? He might tell us to get out into the darkness where there's wailing and grinding of teeth. We offer prayers of thanksgiving today as we trust and believe that all things are possible with God.
Our